Hello friends, before we dive into this conversation, let me ask you a few questions. Have you ever wondered what truly defines someone's character? Is it their words, their promises, or perhaps their grand achievements? In a world filled with social media facades and carefully curated images, how do we genuinely understand who someone really is? And let's flip this around. How do others understand who you are? These aren't just idle questions. They're some of the most pressing issues in today's world. We live in an era where trust is fragile, where relationships are often transactional, and where appearances can be deceiving. But what if I told you that the answer to understanding character doesn't lie in grand gestures, but in the smallest of actions? Today, I want to take you on a journey of wisdom inspired by Acharya Chanakya, the ancient Indian philosopher, economist, and strategist whose insights into human nature are as relevant today as they were centuries ago. Chanakya, often called the Machiavelli of India, believed that understanding people's character was the key to building strong societies and meaningful relationships. Let's break this down through powerful observations. Chapter 1. How they treat people who can't benefit them. Let's start with this. Have you ever noticed how someone treats a stranger who has no influence over them? Think about the waiter in a restaurant, the janitor cleaning the floors, or the delivery person braving the rain to bring your parcel. How often do we take their service for granted? Acharya Chanakya said, "The test of a man's character is in his behavior towards the helpless." True character shines when there's nothing to gain. In today's fast-paced world, we often judge people by their success or status, but Chanakya's wisdom urges us to look deeper. A person who respects and uplifts those below them shows a heart rich in humility and humanity. Think about this in your own life. Do you pause to thank someone for their service? Do you offer kindness to someone who has no means to repay you? These small moments define who we are. Chapter 2. How they handle minor inconveniences. Now, here's another question for you. How do you react when your plans go slightly wrong? When the Wi-Fi stops working during a crucial meeting, or when someone cuts you off in traffic, how do you respond? Chanakya emphasized that patience is the greatest virtue of a leader. He believed that the ability to remain composed during minor setbacks reveals a person's inner strength. In today's world of instant gratification, patience is often overlooked. Yet, it's in these small inconveniences that our true selves are revealed. The next time something doesn't go your way, take a moment to reflect. Instead of reacting with frustration, ask yourself, what does this situation teach me about myself? This simple practice can transform not just your character, but also how others perceive you. Chapter 3. Their relationship with time and commitments. Let me ask you this. Do you value time as much as you value money? Acharya Chanakya warned that lost time is never found again. Yet, in our busy lives, we often waste time mindlessly scrolling through social media or delaying tasks that truly matter. What's more revealing is how we respect others' time. Are you someone who's always late? Do you keep others waiting because you think your schedule is more important? Chanakya taught that a person who honors their commitments and values time is not just disciplined, but also respectful of others. In today's hyper-connected world, respecting time is more than just punctuality. It's a reflection of your priorities. Being consistent with your commitments builds trust, both in personal and professional relationships. So, let's learn to guard time as fiercely as we guard our wealth. Chapter 4. How they act when no one is watching. Now, this is where things get interesting. What do you do when no one's watching? Do you return the shopping cart, pick up the trash, or avoid cutting corners even when you know no one will notice? Chanakya believed in the principle of self-regulation. He taught that a person of true integrity acts ethically, not because they fear judgment, but because it's the right thing to do. In today's world, where surveillance is everywhere, the moments when you think no one is watching are the ultimate test of character. Imagine a society where everyone acted with integrity, even in the smallest of things. Wouldn't that create trust and harmony? Integrity starts with us. in those quiet, unnoticed moments that shape who we truly are. Chapter 5. How they handle power. Finally, let me ask you this. How do you react when you're given even the smallest amount of power? Perhaps you're in charge of a group project, or maybe you know something others don't. How do you use that position? Chanakya taught that power reveals the true nature of a person. In today's world, we often see power being misused, whether it's in politics, corporations, or even small communities. But real leaders, according to Chanakya, use their power to serve, not to dominate. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. When you're in a position of influence, do you lift others up, or do you make yourself the center of attention? Power, no matter how small, is a responsibility. And how we handle it defines not just our leadership but also our humanity. Acharya Chanakya's teachings remind us that true character isn't built overnight. It's the result of countless small decisions we make every day. In a world full of distractions, appearances, and fleeting relationships, his wisdom is a guiding light. Friends, the essence of Chanakya's philosophy is simple. Character is the foundation of a strong individual, a strong family, and a strong nation. So let's take these lessons to heart. Let's treat everyone with kindness, regardless of their status. Let's practice patience in small inconveniences. Let's value time and commitments as treasures. Let's act with integrity, even when no one's watching. And let's use power to uplift, not to dominate. As Chanakya said, the man who has conquered himself is truly powerful. Let's strive to be those people, individuals of character who inspire trust, build meaningful relationships, and make the world a better place. Let's take a moment and reflect on this. Have you ever experienced a moment of power, however small, and wondered how you handled it? Maybe you had the ability to influence a decision or lead a team for the first time. What did you do with that power? Did you wield it with responsibility or let it get to your head? In our world today, power dynamics are everywhere. From the workplace to social media, we are constantly navigating moments where we hold power, even if it's just in our influence over others. So how does this reveal our true character? How we handle power says a lot about who we are. In this second part of our exploration, we will dive into continuing our journey of understanding human nature through the lens of Acharya Chanakya's timeless wisdom. Chapter 6. How they handle criticism and rejection. Think about a time when you were criticized, maybe for a decision you made or for an action you took. How did you handle it? Did you react defensively, or did you listen, learn, and improve? Chanakya famously said, "As soon as the fear approaches near, attack and destroy it." When faced with criticism, we often have two choices. We can either let it break us, or we can use it as a stepping stone for growth. In today's world, where everyone has an opinion, criticism can feel overwhelming. But what Chanakya teaches us is not to fear it, but to see it as an opportunity to refine ourselves. It's easy to stay defensive, to deflect or deny when we're confronted with rejection or negative feedback. But true strength lies in taking responsibility, learning from the experience, and using it as fuel to get better. So how do you handle criticism in your life? Do you become better or bitter? Chapter 7. How they make decisions in difficult situations. Now let's consider this. When you're faced with a difficult decision, how do you make it? Do you rely on your emotions, or do you take a step back and look at the situation with clarity and reason? Acharya Chanakya was a master strategist, and he believed that a person should not be too emotional while making decisions. In difficult times, we often act impulsively, driven by fear, anger, or impatience. But true decision-making requires wisdom. It requires us to detach from our emotions, to consider all angles, and to think through the consequences. In today's world, decision-making can be clouded by external pressures and fleeting emotions. But just like Chanakya advised, it's in these crucial moments where our character is tested. So ask yourself, when faced with tough choices, do you lead with wisdom, or do you react out of haste? Chapter 8. How they lead others. Leadership isn't just about holding a title. It's about influence, trust, and guiding others toward a common goal. Have you ever been in a leadership position? Whether it's in your work, community, or even in your family, how do you lead others? Chanakya said, "A person should not be too proud of his leadership skills." True leadership is about humility and service. It's about empowering others, not about asserting dominance. Leadership is not a one-time event. It's a consistent process of guiding, listening, and inspiring others. Think about the best leaders in your life. Were they the ones who demanded respect, or were they the ones who earned it through their actions? Great leaders understand that their role is not to command but to serve, to guide, and to uplift others. So, how are you leading the people around you? Are you focused on your own power or on empowering others? Chapter 9. How they handle success and failure. Consider this. When you succeed, how do you celebrate? And when you fail, how do you react? Do you stay humble in success and resilient in failure, or do you get lost in pride or despair? Chanakya believed that the world is the great gymnasium where we come to make ourselves strong. Success and failure are both part of life, but it's how we handle them that defines our character. Success can be intoxicating. It can lead to arrogance and complacency. But failure, when handled correctly, is the true test of a person's inner strength. In today's world, where everyone is chasing success, it's easy to forget that failure is not the end. It's simply a stepping stone toward greater achievement. The key is to stay grounded in both victory and defeat. So, the next time you succeed, remember to stay humble. And when you fail, rise up stronger and more determined. Chapter 10. How they handle wealth and materialism. Let's talk about wealth. In a materialistic world, we often measure success by how much we have, how much money, property, or status we've accumulated. But what happens when wealth becomes the measure of everything? Chanakya cautioned, before you start some work, always ask yourself 3 questions. Why am I doing it? What the result might be? And will I be successful? He understood the dangers of materialism and emphasized that wealth, while important, should not define us. The pursuit of wealth should be balanced by a sense of purpose and a commitment to doing good in the world. We see this every day in today's society. People sacrificing their health, relationships, and peace of mind in pursuit of more. But true success, according to Chanakya, is finding balance. It's about having enough, doing meaningful work, and staying grounded in what truly matters. As we continue navigating the complexities of the modern world, these lessons from Chanakya remain as relevant as ever. We are faced with challenges that test our character daily. The pressure to succeed, the temptations of wealth, the noise of social media, and the constant need for validation. But as Chanakya teaches us, it's in these very challenges that we have the opportunity to shape who we are. How do we handle criticism? Do we let it break us or build us? How do we make decisions under pressure? Do we act impulsively, or do we lead with wisdom? How do we lead others? Do we serve, or do we dominate? How do we handle success and failure? Do we stay humble in victory and resilient in defeat? How do we view wealth? Do we let it control us, or do we use it to create a meaningful life? By focusing on these principles, we can build not just personal strength, but contribute to a stronger, more compassionate society. Remember, success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success, as Albert Schweitzer once said. And if we strive to live by the wisdom of Chanakya, by embracing humility, wisdom, and integrity, we'll find true fulfillment in every aspect of our lives. As we continue this exploration of human nature, I want you to think about something that often gets overlooked. How often do we really stop and reflect on our choices? Do we just go with the flow of life, or do we take a conscious moment to evaluate how our actions align with our deeper values? Let's dive into points where we'll uncover even more powerful insights into what truly defines character. Acharya Chanakya's timeless wisdom holds the key to understanding not only others, but ourselves as well. Chapter 11. How they handle discomfort and suffering. Take a moment to reflect. When life gets tough, when things don't go according to plan, how do you react? Do you fall apart, or do you find a way to push through? Chanakya once said, "There is some self-interest behind every friendship. There is no friendship without self-interests." This is a bitter truth. While this may seem harsh, it's a reality that all human beings must confront. The truth is, suffering is a part of life. How we react to it, however, can reveal the depth of our character. When faced with discomfort or adversity, do we crumble, or do we stand firm and find the strength to endure? In the modern world, where everything seems to be moving at an accelerating pace, discomfort is often seen as a weakness. But Chanakya teaches us that it's in those moments of difficulty that we truly discover who we are. It's through overcoming challenges that our true strength is revealed. So when faced with suffering, do you let it define you, or do you rise above it, knowing that every challenge is an opportunity for growth? Chapter 12. How they value education and knowledge. Think about your life. How much time and energy have you dedicated to learning, whether formally or informally? Is knowledge something you value, or do you take it for granted? Chanakya famously said, "Education is the best friend. An educated person is respected everywhere. Education beats the beauty and the youth." This powerful statement emphasizes that true wealth doesn't come from material possessions, but from knowledge. In today's world, there's a rush to attain financial success or social recognition, but true character is built through continuous learning. Knowledge is the foundation upon which wisdom is built, and wisdom is what guides us through life. Whether it's reading books, engaging in meaningful conversations, or simply being open to new ideas, learning is a lifelong journey. So, how do you approach learning? Do you see it as an ongoing process that shapes who you are, or do you treat it as a box to check off? The person who values education understands that growth doesn't stop after formal schooling. It continues throughout life. Chapter 13. How they build and maintain relationships. Think for a moment. How do you treat the people closest to you? How do you nurture and maintain your relationships? Are you focused on giving or just on what you can get from others? Chanakya wisely observed, "The world's biggest power is the youth and beauty of a woman." While this might seem focused on external attributes, the deeper meaning is about recognizing the power in relationships and the importance of maintaining strong bonds with others. Whether it's with family, friends, or colleagues, relationships are one of the most critical aspects of life that reveal our true character. True character is demonstrated in how we build relationships. Are we present, supportive, and compassionate, or do we take others for granted? Strong relationships are built on trust, kindness, and shared values. So, how do you nurture your relationships? Do you give them the time and care they deserve, or do you only invest in them when it benefits you? Chapter 14. How they value integrity over popularity. Now let me ask you this. In today's world, where everyone seems to be chasing likes, followers, and validation, how much do you value integrity over popularity? Is your character shaped by what others think of you, or by who you are when no one is watching? Chanakya's words resonate deeply here. A person should not be too emotional while making decisions. This speaks to the idea that integrity comes from remaining grounded in our values, regardless of the external pressures we face. Popularity, fame, and external validation are fleeting, but true integrity lasts. In today's social media-driven world, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking approval from others. But the true test of character lies in doing what's right even when there's no one around to notice. True integrity means standing firm in your principles, regardless of the crowd's opinion. So when you make decisions, are you guided by your principles or by the desire for external approval? Chapter 15. How they reflect on their own actions. Finally, think about this. How often do you take the time to reflect on your own actions? Do you pause to evaluate whether you are living in alignment with your values and goals? Chanakya taught, before you start some work, always ask yourself 3 questions. Why am I doing it? What the result might be? And will I be successful? This teaches us the importance of self-reflection. True character doesn't emerge from actions alone. It's shaped by the intentionality behind those actions. In today's fast-paced world, we often move from one task to the next without pausing to reflect. We get caught up in the hustle, but reflection is the key to continuous growth. By taking the time to evaluate our decisions, actions, and the impact we have on others, we can course correct and align ourselves with our true purpose. So, the next time you face a challenge or make a decision, ask yourself, why am I doing this? What do I want to achieve? And most importantly, is this in line with my values and principles? As we wrap up this journey into understanding true character, let's reflect on the wisdom that Acharya Chanakya has shared with us. His teachings, though ancient, are more relevant today than ever before. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by distractions, the pursuit of wealth, and the desire for external validation, it is easy to forget what truly matters. The strength of our character. The lessons we've discussed are more than just theoretical concepts. They are practical tools that, when applied, can help us build stronger, more meaningful lives. Whether it's how we handle criticism, our ability to make wise decisions, or the integrity with which we lead others, these principles are the foundation of true character. Acharya Chanakya's life was a testament to the power of these teachings. He didn't just talk about them, he lived them. And as we continue our journey in today's world, we have the same opportunity to apply his wisdom, not only to understand others, but to shape ourselves into the best version we can be. Remember, true character isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about making the right choices, learning from our mistakes, and continuously striving to improve. So, as you step into the world, take these lessons to heart. Reflect on them daily, and use them as a guide to navigate the complexities of life. Thank you for taking this journey with me. May you go forward with the wisdom of Chanakya, using it to shape your own character and the world around you.